For more than a decade, Euro Truck Simulator 2 followed one unbreakable rule. Now, after 12 years of internal debate, that rule may finally be rewritten. Every system inside Euro Truck Simulator 2 exists because someone, somewhere, spent months, sometimes years, arguing about how it should work. Behind every delivery job, every parking challenge, and every gameplay mechanic lies a long chain of design discussions. Yet one topic has quietly resurfaced again and again inside SCS software. A feature that challenges not just vehicle handling, but the economic and structural foundation of the entire game. It was discussed publicly as early as 2014. Then, it disappeared. Not cancelled, not rejected, just waiting. Now, more than 12 years later, Euro Truck Simulator 2 may finally be ready to support it. But to understand why this feature matters, we must first understand a type of truck most players never took seriously. What is a rigid truck? A rigid truck is a truck where the cargo body is permanently mounted to the chassis. There is no detachable semi-trailer, no fifth wheel, no articulation point between vehicle and load. The truck, the cargo body, and the axles operate as a single mechanical unit. In real European transport, rigid trucks are not a niche. They are the backbone of urban and regional logistics. They handle supermarket deliveries, fuel distribution, construction materials, waste and recycling, parcel and postal logistics, municipal services. While articulated trucks dominate highways, rigid trucks dominate cities. For a long time, however, Euro Truck Simulator 2 was built almost entirely around long-distance hauling, wide roads, large depots, open maneuvering space. Everything, from job generation to parking logic, assumed one thing: truck plus detachable trailer. Rigid trucks didn't fit into that assumption. Not because they were unrealistic, but because the game's systems weren't designed for them. What is a tandem? Rigid trucks are often confused with tandems, but the distinction is important. A tandem configuration consists of a rigid truck at the front, a short drawbar trailer connected behind it. Unlike a semi-trailer, the drawbar trailer has its own front axle, a rigid connection point, no articulation over the fifth wheel. This creates very different vehicle behavior. In Europe, tandems are widely used in Scandinavia, Germany, Austria. Central European logistics. They allow operators to increase cargo volume while maintaining flexibility in urban areas. From a driving perspective, tandems are notoriously difficult. Reversing is slower. Turning radius is deceptive. Small steering mistakes compound rapidly. In a simulator environment, tandems push precision driving to a level most ETS2 players have never experienced. And this leads directly into the system that makes both rigids and tandems truly functional. What is a swap body system? A swap body is a removable cargo unit designed to be placed on a rigid truck chassis or a drawbar trailer. Unlike traditional trailers, swap bodies are lifted on and off the vehicle, loaded independently, exchanged at logistics terminals. In real-world European freight operations, swap bodies are everywhere. A truck arrives at a hub, drops a loaded unit, picks up another that's already prepared, and leaves almost immediately. The driver does not wait for forklifts. The truck does not sit idle. Time efficiency improves dramatically. This system represents modular logistics, not fixed hauling, and that distinction matters enormously for gameplay. Why swap bodies are a game changer? In classic ETS2 logic, a trailer defines the job. The cargo belongs to the trailer. The truck is just the mover swap. Bodies invert that logic. Now, the truck becomes the core asset. Cargo units are interchangeable. Jobs are defined by logistics flow, not hardware. This opens doors to faster turnaround jobs, urban distribution loops, hub-to-hub operations, short-distance realism, but it also introduces enormous complexity. Why developers hesitated? SCS openly explained that during feature development, a massive amount of time is spent discussing how gameplay revolves around a feature and how it should evolve. They also admitted that they rarely share this process publicly. Rigid trucks were under discussion for years because they forced developers to touch systems that had been stable since launch. Adding rigids means reworking physics for fixed loads. redesigning cargo weight distribution, updating loading and unloading logic, modifying depot layouts, reconsidering parking challenges. This is not a cosmetic DLC, it is a structural redesign, and that brings risk. From the driver's perspective, rigid trucks feel completely different. With articulated trucks, the trailer absorbs mistakes, articulation helps correction. Reversing follows predictable patterns. With rigids, the rear tracks exactly behind the front. Steering errors propagate instantly. Space awareness becomes critical. Add a tandem and swap body into the mix, and you are dealing with one of the most demanding vehicle setups in road transport. If you believe your ETS2 parking skills are near perfection, rigid trucks will challenge that belief. Auto parking remains available, but mastery becomes meaningful again. One of the most difficult questions rigid trucks raise is ownership. In traditional ETS2, you own the truck. You rent or own the trailer. The trailer defines cargo compatibility. With swap bodies, cargo units may belong to depots. Bodies may be exchanged mid-route. Ownership becomes abstract. SCS themselves acknowledge that this challenge might persuade them to reconsider the entire trailer ownership system. That is not a small adjustment. It touches the economic core of the game. Whenever they alter core gameplay systems, they take time, sometimes years. Rigid trucks were never rejected, they were postponed, waiting for map complexity, player maturity, logistics depth engine capability. That moment may finally be here. Back in 2014, rigid trucks were mentioned as a future DLC idea. At the time, cities were wide. Depots were simple. Gameplay was long-haul focused. Rigid trucks would have felt out of place, so the idea was shelved, not forgotten. Modern ETS2 is fundamentally different. Dense urban centers, tight industrial zones, short delivery loops, realistic infrastructure. The game has grown into the feature it once couldn't support. Rigid trucks now feel natural, even necessary. If rigid trucks arrive as a full system, they unlock city logistics careers, municipal service roles, regional fleet specialization, realistic European freight networks. They don't replace trailers. They complete the ecosystem. Rigid trucks are not a gimmick. They are not filler content. They challenge core mechanics, economic systems, player habits. That is why they were delayed. That is why they matter, and that is why they may finally arrive. After 12 years, Euro Truck Simulator 2 may be ready for the feature it was never built for, but always needed.